Hey, how's it going? This is On Stuff with Jeff, and I don't know, I'll show you a bit of stuff, but this is mostly a year-end type of thing because it's the end of the year. What a crazy, really horrible, no good, awful, bad year this has been for most people. I mean, just nobody could have predicted. What that almost sounds like the beginning to War of the Worlds, doesn't it? No one. The whole COVID thing took everybody. What we thought. All the in Canada at least, and we thought that what we had in place. After the problem we had early, like 8 years ago. I don't even remember how long ago that was. But the SARS epidemic. But it took everybody by surprise. The SARS, sorry, this COVID-19. Funny, I haven't thought of SARS in so long, even during this COVID pandemic. But it was so different. It spread. It was very virulent in comparison, and even the whole issue of masks. Within I don't know a couple of weeks, they had the information they needed about why we should, what a mask helps you with, the mask, and I hope you wear one when you go outside or are around large groups of people, which you shouldn't be around if your region is undergoing a large number of new cases every day. You got to keep it over your nose and here. So when you cough or sneeze or breathe, you're not spreading stuff all over the place because it's not protecting you. And that was, I understand. Like, I remember I was a bit confused because at the beginning people said that wear it for your protection, and then people started to say, "Wow, only certain masks can protect you," but that protection wasn't enough, even the good ones. So the best advice that they could give was to wear masks to protect others. Just wash your hands. I work in retail, in grocery retail, so our company was the first one to monitor people coming in the store, make sure everybody wore masks, make sure everybody's washing their hands, give people sanitizer at the door, have people going around the whole store, sanitizing doorknobs and fixtures and windows and glass and countertops, stuff like that. And because the virus is insidious, and the only way to win is not to play and stay home, of course, what was it, March 12th or something? I can't remember. It feels like another world. Canada, most of the provinces and the three territories. Aging myself there. They started locking down, and unfortunately, in Canada, we were fortunate enough to have had a prime minister like Paul Martin years ago, who knew how to get what was then a spiraling deficit situation under control, and get our fiscal house in order as a country. We did have a subsequent prime minister who basically was able to kind of balance the budget, but he did that by simply, not funding the military was one big thing, which was kind of crazy. The Conservatives are all about the military, except when it comes to paying for anything. But this is not going to be a political thing. I remember when the Prime Minister's wife, Sophie Gregoire Trudeau, got sick, and then we heard about that, like, months later we heard about the British Prime Minister getting sick, and stuff like that, and to see the Prime Minister every day come out of Rideau Cottage, which is the de facto official residence of the Prime Minister, because there aren't enough Canadians in the voter base to support spending the like probably $1 billion necessary to refurbish the actual Prime Minister's residence, because no one wanted to fix it, and then it just got to the point where it was unlivable. But anyway, that's the magic of Canada. You got people who think tradition is the most important thing, and you got people who think money is the most, no money, not spending money is the most important thing. And sometimes those those two are the same, sometimes they're not. But that's a whole other discussion. Then they, like in Canada, they basically started what was a de facto, what do you call it, minimum income program for people who were out of work, temporarily because of the shutdown, because we shut down businesses. All the provinces shut down their businesses. So people weren't earning a paycheck and having trouble. They wouldn't, the majority of Canadians aren't the type of people who can work from home, because basically most Canadians, don't have that type of job. We don't make the big bucks. So that's a lot of people at home. And so the government up here, the federal government, the national government, started paying people to stay home. I was fortunate enough that I work in the grocery industry, and so our store stayed open throughout the pandemic. We cut the hours. We closed a bit earlier on the week, and for the first 5 months, I was working night crew in order to minimize the amount of people in the store. I discovered dark matter, and then I discovered how much I hate Sci-Fi LA for canceling probably one of the greatest shows. I mean, really, having 2 good shows is just too much. You can only afford to have one good one. I mean, God, so I'm sure if it was being filmed in the United States, they would have kept it. But anyway, it was a great show. The characters were awesome. 5 is my waifu if I was much younger than me. So let's, this year I discovered that it was very easy to buy direct from record distributors and artists. So and cheap also comparatively. So I started buying from distros. I'll show you some of the stuff I picked up. It's not everything, like Nova Scotia's Pagan Hellfire. I got 2 of their albums. That's a collection of demos filmed. It was recorded. It says it was recorded near something mountain, and there are 2 places in Nova Scotia with that name, and I've been to one of them. So this is another one. This is the Metal Noir Québécois Masters Ossuaire. This they only put out 2, but they put 2 of them out. See, one of the things I realized, I had a lot of music to catch up on. So this stuff is from like 2019. This is another great one. Ivanak. Wastau, the Sortilege of Winter. This is a great one, and Necrar the distributors did a great job with this. I mean, I'll be talking about all these in depth on my Crypta Metallum show. This is another one, a recent one, Salmant. Another black metal. I'm really into black metal right now. Deleter. This is this band I really, really like. Holy crap. This is a good one. It's a lot of the stuff is in French. But I get the gist. Here, speaking of francophones, here's Forteresse. I believe in national unity, but I also am a patriot at heart. Because they were fighting for equal rights between Francophones, Catholics, and Anglophone Protestants. They weren't fighting for an independent country. Just, you know, in case you're a separatist who actually believes that they were separatists, they weren't. Those guys were the ones that I think for a couple of years after the conquest, like it was almost like the 45 rebellion in Scotland, where like some leader, from French leader came. I don't know. It was anyway. Here's another Ifrenak. That one, Maktuik makes you want to go and take it to the colonists. This one, of course, Immortal. I sadly hadn't listened to these guys before until this year, and I picked up their other one too. Awesome stuff, must have. Here's another one, kind of doomy, black. This is really good. Harrow. They're from, I can't remember if they're from Winnipeg or Thunder Bay, but I mean, what a shame that this band didn't put out any more albums, because this is fantastic. Of course, the classic, one of the most classic of classics. You know, I like the packaging. I wasn't sure about it at first, but it looks really cool. I mean, there you go, Hellhammer. Of course, this is very sad, depressing. Are these guys from Ottawa or from Quebec or from Montreal? I can't remember. But Mesquirn, an Anglophone band, very sad, depressing. Kind of like a couple of those Faith No More albums where you're kind of getting worried about that guy's, whether he's safe to be safe alone. This is another one. This is an old one. Sombre Forest. This is a really good one. I bought it because I really, I like the painting, the artwork, but it is super. And some got into some vinyl. The Ember, the Ash. This is a new band. They're Canadian, although Avant Garde is their distributor. Their label is Italian. This is a good band. I really like. I hope they keep putting out records, because I love that freaking album. This, I finally got it on LP. All I have is like a CDR copy of my friend's original CD. Disembowelment, Transcendence into the Peripheral. Wow, you can meditate to this stuff. It's amazing. Another one, Monarch. Monarch is actually one of the lead guys in Forteresse. Another great example of metal noir québécois. That means Quebec black metal. If you're one of those poor monolinguistic country people, this is awesome. Really angry. I think it was the drummer from Mountain. It was that died recently. Steve, I can't remember who it was. Corky Lang, maybe. But just recently, one of the original band members of Mountain died. I picked this up actually at a used record shop on Lakeshore. Really good. Rainbow classic. That's actually Rising's pretty much my favorite album of theirs. A huge Canadian death metal classic. Ultratum Necrovortex. And I freaking love the Temple of Mystery, like the label on the center. It looks cool. Another used one. Rush Hemispheres. This is an original. And band from Winnipeg, which I also started to get into. I picked up just recently off of online. I picked up one of their, what was it? It was their first EP. Their demo. Really cool, really cool stuff. Like Wholesome Collectibles. Yeah. Yes, I'm a huge fan of Trek, and yes, I am a big fan of Discovery. Here we go, more Star Trek. Picked up this. USS Kyushu. New Orleans class, one of these ships was scratch built to be seen in to be one of the starships destroyed by the Borg at Wolf 359. Here's another one. And this starship was a response to the Borg. That's the USS Thunderchild Akira class. That is a super cool starship. Really looks really awesome. This I got just recently. It's the talking Grogu. He moves animatronic. If you can see him over there. Some books that I sadly have not gotten to yet. This one has won some awards and has something important to say. Seven Fallen Feathers. This is another one. This is a classic Canadian work of literature. Alistair MacLeod, No Great Mischief. This is one, she's like, right now she's one of my favorite authors. Nella Hawkinson, modern day magical realism with, soft magic, but, with African and Caribbean overtones. It's like really, really cool stuff. Like it's like this is one of the types of things I've been looking for, because I think I've read enough about princes and princesses, dragons and wizards. I want something different. And of course, this one, the second book of the Book of Dust, Philip Pullman, the Historic Materials, which is the basically the book that started this series, well, the book series that is continued in the Book of Dust. Is one of my favorite novels, and I'm eventually going to be talking about most of these, because that's kind of what I'm doing these days on this channel. Well, I don't know, what else is there to say? 2020 really blew chunks. Seriously, we got, we got Star Trek Picard, we got a really good third season to Discovery. We got a great end to the Clone Wars, and I love Ahsoka, and I'm so glad she's getting her own show, and The Mandalorian, which was pretty good. It was modeled a lot on Japanese cinema and TV, which is where American and Italian spaghetti westerns got their style from. They didn't invent it themselves. They got it all from Akira Kurosawa and a lot of the old samurai movies. And man, oh geez, Mandalorian. It has so much of the classic Japanese influence. Even some of the music reminds me style-wise of post-war anime, mature readers or whatever, Japanese animation, following the Second World War, and of course that on the heels of their other wars that they had, and the end of the samurai age and stuff like that. They had a very, very different outlook on life, and it really shows in a lot of the great anime like Gundam and Captain Harlock, Galaxy Express. Of course, one that's dearest to my heart, Macross. So anyway, I don't even remember why I started talking about that, but that's how it is. I'm pretty freaking tired. I've been working a lot. I hope you customers appreciate all that milk I put out. So I guess that's it. No, it's not it, is it? The Americans made a good choice. The battle for the hearts of that nation isn't over. I believe that Canada, certainly a lot of countries on the outskirts of Europe we're going to have a hard battle for functioning, an egalitarian democracy. because there's a lot of people who think that, well, most people aren't really paying attention, and they need to be put into place, and we need, society has to have, every, you know what I'm talking about. It's not great. But they got rid of Trump, so that's a good thing. And with that, now we are at the end. So hopefully 2021 is going to be better. And I'm not going to jinx it. So Happy New Year, folks. Have a great New Year's Eve, and please stay home. Thanks.